It's a beautiful day at Pennington Place. We've been down for a while. Um, I just kind of wanted to do a short video just to kind of update. Yes, we're still homesteading. Yes, we plan on getting back online and putting up more videos. Um, Life's been a little different with the pandemic. Me being a nurse, I'd been a nurse for 30 years. Um, we went through a lot. The pandemic has played a huge toll on all of us, families, residents, patients, staff. It's been rough, um, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I am appreciative that I was part of this, that I was able to overcome and be a servant, work a ministry to help with people that had COVID, people that were sick. The pandemic has affected so many. Um, I gave up a lot. I sacrificed a lot during the pandemic. We worked a lot of hours, me and my coworkers. We did a lot of bedside care, hospice, death and dying. It changes you. It changes your outlook on life. It changes your outlook on what you have, where you are in your life. But I think it makes us stronger. It makes us live for the moment. It makes us realize that life is fleeting. We don't want to believe that, but it is, and we are all getting older. And so you learn to live in the moment. You learn to love what you have and live each day as if it's your last. Uh, the homestead makes me happy. It's where I find peace. Me and my husband worked very hard. We both were essential workers through the pandemic. Still are. It's not over. But I believe right now we're through the worst unless something else happens. The variant comes through. I know it's in other states. But we've had this experience, and now we know, and now we're ready. And we know what to expect. Going into the pandemic was scary because it was an unknown. I struggled with trying to keep my family safe because I had to be out there working, same as my husband. He had to be out there working. There was no shutdown. It was, you got to do it. We have to do it. There's a handful of my coworkers that decided they didn't want to do it, and they opted for the unemployment, and they opted to stay home and stay safe. And I don't blame them in any way, shape, or form. Everyone has their own personal opinion, their own personal decisions to make that are tough. I did end up getting sick, and with all the precautions I took not to bring it home to my daughter and the 3 grandchildren that live with us, I put a tent up at the back of the house so that when I got off work I could strip down, come through the back, head straight to the shower, and it didn't work. I still managed to get it. I was sick. I still managed to bring it home, and even though I isolated myself, once I found out that I was positive, I isolated myself upstairs from everyone for the 14-day quarantine. They still all got sick except Michael. Michael never got sick, not one day. But we all did fine. We all did fine. We got through it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So, moving forward with my new outlook and my new love of my life and what we do, and feeling so blessed that we're able to do what we do, we're going to see more videos. The homestead has changed quite a bit. We got out of the rabbitry. The market for rabbits, meat markets, just totally collapsed. There weren't very many connections to begin with. The connections we found, everything started collapsing. There wasn't the money in it, and I didn't want to be a breeder for fair, just to have show rabbits. Homesteading isn't about the show. It isn't about, getting the blue ribbon. It's about self-sustainability. And the meat rabbits were a way for us to provide meat for our family and for other families. And we did sell some rabbits for show for the kids, and that was great. But in the end, those rabbits become just meat. So we got out of the rabbitry. Right now in the homestead, we have a pet pig, a pet pot-bellied pig, who doesn't like to be touched. So you can't really do much with him but feed him. The only time you can touch him is when he's eating and he's distracted. But that's okay. He's still fun to watch and listen. His little snorts and his little grunts. And we still have the chickens, of course. We still have eggs. We have ducks still. We have 3 different kinds of ducks. We have the Pekings. We have Indian runners. And we have, what are they called? I'll come back to that. I'll remember it in a minute. But then Michael has been getting into the game roosters, the game hens, the game birds. He really likes the game birds. Of course, there's not a market for them because they are purely bred in some areas for fighting, and that's not what we're about, and that's illegal. So he has some, and it's just for him to enjoy. That's kind of his thing to enjoy. Like we have an inside rabbit, a pet rabbit that is a New Zealand black broken, and that is for the family to enjoy. It's a pet. It's very fun to play with him, and we've also added another pet. I had no idea. We were at the auction, I'd say about a month ago, because we had taken a bunch of game birds and chickens in that we had hatched, because every year we have a 300 egg hatching machine, and Michael went a little crazy and kept putting eggs in. So just as one was hatching out, the other was ready to go down and start hatching. So we really had to thin those out because it was getting a bit much with the feed and the work and everything that goes with it. So we were at auction, and my daughter, she just said it would be so cool to have a pet goose. And I'm thinking, where'd that come from? She'd never mentioned it before. Well, there were some geese there, some full-grown geese, and we didn't get them. It just, I wasn't willing to pay what people were bidding. So we stayed a little longer at the auction. We got the pot-bellied pig, and this baby goose comes up. It was just one baby goose. Don't know what kind it is, don't know anything about it. It's just in a box, baby goose. So we bid on it, we got it, and that goose has been living in my house every day since. We have adapted, and at first we had her in a crate, and she'd come out and play. We'd put a diaper on her, she'd come out and play, and then she'd be in a crate, when we weren't able to watch after her. But then in the morning she was waking up so hangry. She's hungry, she was mad, she was bouncing off the sides of the cages. So we decided this isn't good, this is a pet. So she has free reign at the house. He or she, we don't know if it's a boy or girl, wears a diaper. Every day she comes out, he comes out. We have a pen area set up that when we're not outside, that the goose, we call the goose Coda. Coda can stay outside in the pen with her water, food, and enjoy the day, sleep in the sun or the shade, wherever she wants. But when we're out and about, she's out and about with us. She works in the garden with me. She follows me around while I'm working on the landscape, while I'm planting things. It's been different, but it's been a pleasure. I never thought I'd be back to, my kids are raised, I never thought I'd be back to changing diapers. But I am, and it's so worth it because it's such an experience. Just to hold a goose up close, watch him grow, listen to her little chitter-chatter whistles, and I'll be in the kitchen working on vegetables, canning, doing things, and beside me I always put a slop bucket for the pig for like the extra vegetables and stuff, the ends that I cut off, all the extras. And one day I look down, I hear her little whistles, and I look down and she's like feet in the bucket, eating away at all my vegetables. It's just little moments like that that I think, this is worth it. No other time in my life have I been able to have this, and it's appreciated. I enjoy it. I enjoy our land. I enjoy the nature. I enjoy the quiet. I enjoy coming home after work. Coming home it's my peace. Being beside Michael, working beside Michael in the forge, it's my peace. Doing projects with Michael, that's my peace. We all have to find our peace in life. And when you walk away from the craziness, the war zone that we had with the pandemic, when you walk away from that, you have to be able to breathe. And you have to be able to put things in perspective. When you come home from the death and the dying and the heartache that the pandemic has caused, you have to have peace. You have to find your peace somewhere. And I always tell, I don't have a lot of friends. This is my life. I'm not a very outgoing person. I'm not a girl's girl. So I don't have a gang of girls. I have two good friends in my life. And I always tell them, find your peace. When they're unhappy, when things aren't going well, when life is stressful and they feel burdened, I always say, find your peace. And one told me, well, my peace is with my kids. I said, no, it's not. Because that's your kids' peace, because you are their peace. You have to find your peace, what's for you. And I believe she has. And she found chickens. And she's enjoying the chicken. But you have to find your peace, whether it be on the homestead, whether it be, some people, their peace is shopping, and that's fine, but shopping as a peace is detrimental because then you end up in financial issues. So you have to have something that fills your heart, something that's not monetary, something that's not an item, something that's not, can't be bought. My peace is my property, and being beside my husband, watching him create, me being able to create. He creates, I create, and then we combine what we create into a piece of furniture. I take old things that people don't want, that people don't think are good anymore. He takes metal that's from the scrapyard and he reinvents it. I reinvent my piece. We add it together. We make things. To me, that is, number one, a huge connection. Not many people have that in the world with a partner. And number two, it's peaceful. It just, my heart is at ease when we're doing these things. And he's a man, we can talk about, oh, that don't look right, it needs to be this way. We don't get offended. If he sees something I've done, he's like, well, that's not sitting right, how about we try? Okay, let's try it, because every piece has a life of its own. Just like we are different and unique from anyone else. There's not another me anywhere in this world, thank God. But every piece we make is different and unique. Life is worth living. It's invigorating, and I have a friend that's going through a rough time with their marriage right now. They're not on the same page. I just pray. I pray that everyone can find that peace with a partner that's needed to be whole, that's needed to make your life livable even through the rough times. Just someone that you can fall back on, that you know will never judge you for anything you say or do, that's not going to leave you or dislike you or disown you. I wish everyone could find that, because then the real you can come out. And when you are being the real you, who you're meant to be, every wish, every desire, nobody making fun, nobody judging, um, then it opens up so many opportunities in this world. It just makes things brighter. Rainbows are prettier. Grass is greener. Vegetables taste better. Everything is just better when you can be you 100%. No shame, no guilt, no judgment. Um, so Pennington Place is back. And yes, it's a beautiful day at Pennington Place. It always is. It's always beautiful. Every morning I get up, I come out and I look at my gardens and I look at my vegetables and I look at my flowers and I look at my herbs and I pet the cats and I listen to the chickens. I have a mom out right now who hatched out 4 chicks, and she lives in the barn. So when we open the barn door in the morning, she comes out with the dad, of course, and she's got her chicks all over this place, pecking, scratching. I just love to sit and watch. I could watch for hours. The animals just being animals, just enjoying life, the simplicity of it. So, okay, I think I've said enough. I didn't mean to cry. I'm sorry about that. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and I guess I'll be seeing you soon.